taking over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast, in the biggest way possible. Hanging out the bad seed, the bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion shake-it-up, along with the Tater King himself on a midweek Where Do You Hurt Wednesday, Carver High this afternoon. Mafia running it with Luke. I am your father. C2C lineup. The starting lineup today, of course, Morency, a double shot from Vancouver this very hour. And then in the second hour, the Prime Minister from Toronto, Cam Stewart, live. And then in the final hour, the coup de grace, Stewie, your boy Keith Stewart from Read the Line, getting involved with Carver High on the FedEx playoffs, the St. Jude Classic going on in Memphis starting tomorrow. Got to get those tickets in. Put it with the golf. Carver High, I cannot believe the developments with J.J. McCarthy. Yesterday, I thought it'd be, simple work. Scope, vacuum, clean it up, 8 weeks. November, he's back working. And then today they went in and it was a full tear of his meniscus, and they had to repair it completely, and he's gone for the year.
Gone for the year, indeed. Yeah, and that's what happens. That's why they always make you wait, right? When we get these meniscus diagnosis, they got to wait till they get in there. Same thing happened with Von Miller with the Bills a couple years ago. They thought he was just going to go in, get cleaned up, be back for the playoffs. And
did you get cleaned up today, Carver High? Nice and tight?
A little bit.
You got cleaned up. I mean, you got cleaned up tight.
It was getting a little too gray on the side, so we had to get rid of a little bit of it. And that happens from time to time. Sometimes you just got to get rid of that gray that comes up in the sides. But yes, they go in for surgery this morning, full tear. J.J. McCarthy done. Basically, Scotty, they said this was the best thing for his career, for the future of his career, is for him to just get this done, not play this year, and then come back and be full throttle for next year. And that, of course, now also means, as we mentioned yesterday at the beginning, it's now Sam Darnold for the full ride, Scotty. Full ride for Sam Darnold in Minnesota.
Well, who else do they got? They got to have somebody else. They can't just have him.
Yeah, they will have to probably pick somebody else up off the heap. That's for sure. Actually, I think they have. You know who? Well, yeah, Colin's still trying to get into the NFL, as we'll talk about later. They have Nick Mullins in camp. Nick Mullins and Hall, who played a game last year.
Whoever that is.
But Nick Mullins, Scotty, well-traveled around the NFL. He's now the backup for Sam Darnold. I would, if any other options come around, when guys get cut at the end of camp, etc., I'd think about it if I were them. Maybe,
Listen, Mullins is, I think, like a majority of, and I'm going to say this, of the hack backups in this league. It really is true. The starters in this league are generally considered magnificent and make tons of money. And then it is literally the UFL below them. I don't care what anybody says. There are so many hacks that are backups in the NFL, and you can't even argue it. Like, you can't. Like that guy right there, those two guys right there, Mullins, Hall, what a disaster that is. And frankly, I think Sam Darnold is too. I mean, how many times, seriously, are we going to watch this guy get rolled out and he doesn't do anything? I mean, he's okay. Look, he's serviceable. That's the word for him.
Let's remember, though, this is what injuries do to you, because we're talking bad about Nick Mullins, and rightfully so. He's not very good. But when they came into camp, they expected him to be their third quarterback. They expected it to be two steps away from Nick Mullins. The problem is now you're one step away from having Nick Mullins. So that's why injuries are so brutal in the NFL. And now you don't have a net to where, you start 2-5. Darnold's not getting the ball to Justin Jefferson. All right, let's bring the kid we drafted in and we'll get some run with him. You don't even have that to fall back on this year now. So if things start bad for the Vikings, Scotty, I could see them get bad in a big way for them this year. That could be a good team to target.
I think
unders,
they need to
playoffs, things like that.
They need to block for this guy and give him time to find Jefferson. I think that's the key to their offense is that this guy has got to be standing up, and he's got to have protection, and he's got to have a somewhat of a pocket and the ability to find Jefferson. Jefferson is so amazing. Is he the best in the NFL? A lot of people think he is. And if he just gets open, I think Darnold can find him and hit him. The question begs, frankly, in my opinion, that team stinks. I am not buying them at all, and I think today it just got worse. I think their price just dropped significantly. And look, they were excited about J.J. McCarthy. What's there to be excited about now? Now it's praying to God that Darnold doesn't go down.
That is what they'll be doing now, is praying to God that Darnold does not go down because they're going to have themselves They might have a long year anyway. Even if he doesn't go down, it'll get even longer if that is the case. So we have lots of NFL, of course, today. Lots of injury updates, lots of who's still holding out. I'll save you the drama now. I don't have an update on Ayuk for you today. I know you were going to be looking for one. I still don't. We still don't have
Jerry
all
Rice.
That happened today. All that happened with what did Jerry say? He said it was going to happen today, right? A decision would be made today. Yeah. See how much Jerry knows by midnight tonight. We'll see if Jerry, how much he's in the know.
Well, it is noon in California, so
that's true.
Let's give him some time. Maybe by the time we leave the air this evening, something will change. I'm about done with it, as you know. I can't take it anymore.
I know.
I think I actually believe at this point, I'm just gonna guess that he's just used, frankly, the Pats, Browns, and mostly the Steelers for leverage to get what he wants in San Francisco. I don't think that he truly wants to leave a Super Bowl contender to go to a team that barely makes the wild card and never wins a playoff game. That's who the Steelers are. You know what they are? They're below like the Bills. The Bills go deep into the playoffs and make deep runs and lose. The Steelers make shallow runs. As you know, Carver High, we don't like to go too deep into the ocean. In fact, not at all. Based on now, the Sharks will attack in knee-deep water. We're not just going, the people that say, I'm just going to put my feet in and get wet a little. That's a dangerous way to make a living, boy.
All I know is, don't go to the ocean. Go to the pool. Don't go to the ocean. I don't care if you got shallow end, deep end, diving board, whatever you want to do. Stay out of the ocean.
Slide.
It's just how many more stories do we need about the Sharks in our lives? We just don't need
one
anymore.
A week at least.
We do have day ball today. One game going on right now. 4-1. Royals lead the Twins. Bobby Witt Jr. with a homer today. Paul DeJong with a homer today. In fact, he's up right now. He needs a triple for the cycle. We'll see if he can get it here in the top of the 8th. We have 2 other games, including the Buccos, that's going to start in a little bit. I will give you all of those numbers after you talk to Gabe, since they don't start for about a half an hour from now.
The Pirates, 9 in a row? They're going to end that today with Helen Keller beating the Padres.
Oh, wow. Very possible.
It ends today. I'm going to bet on the Pirates.
try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
I'm talking about playing Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks, Isaiah Collier, the rookie, Cody Williams, the rookie, Bryce Sands, second year, maybe keeping Walker Kessler. That means either Danny Ainge thinks that they're going to be a championship team in 3 to 4 years, or he's going to wait 1 year and he's going to trade Lauri Markkanen and he's going to get the farm.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Say the under has the correct juice to the 6.5 win total for the New York Giants. It's a losing season. It's a bad season in the greater New York area. Is Brian Daboll and is Joe Shane back next year?
As a Giants fan, what are you looking forward to? Absolutely nothing. You're hoping like the Yankees make a long enough run so you can forget about the Giants.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The bottom of this field is a bunch of guys, quite frankly, that aren't on the tour, aren't on the DP tour, aren't on the Corn Ferry tour.
You know, the top 25 or so in this field, I mean, you've got Rory, you've got Lowry, you've got Scheffler, you know, all 4 Americans, Minwoo Lee and Jason Day. And you go to Mito Pereira and Joaquin Neiman out of Chile. So, you know, it really is pretty deep.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
BetMGM is swinging for the fences. The best place to bet the long ball all season long. Out-of-the-park odds on home runs. Exclusive signature bets. And a weekly shot at your share of $50K in bonus bets. Enter the $50K Grand Slam jackpot. It's on.
All right, you can catch Sports Rage weeknights at 10 along all of our outlets on the TV side, streaming networks, radio on Sports Byline USA, satellite radio on SiriusXM channel 159. You catch Gabe on Coast to Coast every day with a double shot from Vancouver here. First of all, pull out that jersey that arrived in the mail. Show that first. Let's get that out there first of all.
Yeah, you know what, Scott? This is the way how I roll. Last week, I was going to order a jersey. It was going to take too long. I was like, I don't really need a jersey, but everyone knows I'm a diehard Michigan Wolverine fan, and arguably my favorite Wolverine of all time is J.J. McCarthy. So I want to show a little love to the Minnesota Vikings. There's number 9. Here he is. Scott, word of no lie. I got this last week. Never even wore it yet. Never got a chance to wear it. I was waiting. I was like, I'm going to wait till I'm just going to wait till it feels right. When the season gets a little closer, my boy, JJ. Dude's out for the season. Unbelievable. Never wore it. Unworn.
That's unbelievable. Are you gonna put it in the closet until next year? I mean, what are you gonna do?
No, I'm gonna support him. I'm gonna let him know that he's not forgotten about, Scott. But that's just my luck, and you can't make this up. I bought I sent Scott a BC Lions hoodie. It's sweet. One day show that on the air. So I got all this Lions gear, Scott, and Vernon Adams, great quarterback, former Oregon Duck, Eastern Washington quarterback. Nate Rourke, the guy who was bouncing around the NFL practice rosters and third string guy, he left the BC Lions. Vernon Adams takes over, and I'm like, all right. I've had a few drinks. I'm at the game. I buy 2 jerseys, Scott. I buy the quarterback of the BC Lions jersey who just lost his job to Nate Rourke, and I bought a wide receiver's jersey who's on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers right now. Dude, I bought a Kawhi Leonard jersey, Scott, at Game 5 of the NBA Finals. So I was at Game 5 in Toronto at the NBA Finals. Kawhi jerseys were sold out everywhere. I got one in the arena. I put it on. He left the team 5 days later. Like, I can't buy. Like, I'm done. Like, I can't buy, like,
cloud.
I can't buy sports jerseys.
Cloud.
Dude, I have a closet full of players. Yeah, he's not on the team anymore. He got hurt. He's done. Like, he got traded. It's constant, bro.
I have Kawhi. I got his San Diego State Aztec jersey.
Oh,
which
sweet.
Is badass. It's pretty badass. Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah. So you had mentioned to me that you think they should perhaps go get Tannehill.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tannehill is the best available quarterback out there right now, guys. If you look at the market, you got Blaine Gabbert, you've got Tannehill. Tannehill is a capable quarterback, but let's be real. If you're the Minnesota Vikings right now, listen, your win total was 6.5 coming into the year. You sort of have to know the room, Scott, around you, right? And whatever business you're in, and know what your competitors are up to. The Detroit Lions are in like Super Bowl mode right now. They spent all their money. They're all in. Right, the Green Bay Packers, they're on the rise. Like they're knocking on the door right now. I think they're going to be battling. They're right there with Detroit, in my opinion. The Bears are up and coming. If you're the Vikings, you're sort of in between. Like even with J.J. McCarthy this year, guys, they were going to win what 7 games. Their win total is 6.5. Like there wasn't this big projection to begin with, and I like the over, Scott. I'm out now. That's why I always tell people if you're betting NFL futures in the offseason in the summertime. Only bet teams you like the under because not good things are going to happen to teams. Only bad things happen to teams before the season starts. So never bet on overs. I like the Vikings over 6.5 before. I don't anymore because, like you said, bro, Mullins, so he had one good night on a Monday night with the Niners or something 4 years ago, Scott. And I agree with your take. He's just another one of these dudes. He's good enough to hang around in the NFL. I think the NFL should give some other guys some chances, to be honest, instead of sort of repeating the same guys over and over again all the time. But if you're the Vikings, Scott, why not just sort of tap out? I hate to say it, but get a big-time draft pick. Build up your, you got to stockpile a little bit. O'Connell, you're not getting fired, bro. You'll have J.J. McCarthy coming in hot next year. He'll be your quarterback. If you're Minnesota, Tannehill, or no one's saving your season. Another guy to keep your eye on, too, guys, is Trey Lance, all right? And I don't think that Trey Lance, he's not the next Jordan Love. It would have come alive by now. But the thing is, he's a very good athlete. He's a free agent after the year. And Dallas don't know what's going to happen with Prescott. So I don't know I think they won't want to sit on him. But expect teams to start calling Dallas now about Trey Lance. And I think Tannehill's at the front of the line here. Scott, but from what, all reports, and I don't pretend I just speak to anybody with Harbaugh's crew, but a lot of reports out of L.A. are that they're a little bit worried, just like you and I talked about Justin Herbert, bro, about his health. And they're starting to realize, dear God, we cannot have Easton Stick as our starting quarterback. So it looks like the Chargers are in talks with Tannehill. So if you want Tannehill right now, guys, if you're an NFL team, you better move fast because Tannehill's agent's phone is ringing and buzzing right now.
So the LA Times did a big story on Colin Kaepernick about how he's itching to come back. And then one of the points they made in the article was that he's the same age as about 5 or 6 guys in the league right now, like Russell Wilson, et cetera. And then there's several guys like Aaron Rodgers that are older than him. And then he hasn't played in whatever it is, 7 years. Do you give him any credence whatsoever and an opportunity?
No. I don't think he could. It's too late. There's kids that deserve more of an opportunity. I'm a Kaepernick guy. I'm not a Kaepernick hater, but let's not do this every year, bro, a week before camp about how you want in. You're out of the league. It is what it is. It's a cold world. Look, dude, Justin Fields is in the prime of his career right now, and he just got the boot from a football team. It's a cold world. There's nothing political about this now. It was before. It ain't now. There's 25 quarterbacks I think deserve a shot more than Colin Kaepernick does. Adrian Martinez, good example. Kid played well in the UFL. Give him a shot. Like I said, there's a lot of younger quarterbacks. They don't get a chance.
He played at Nebraska for 20 years.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
One change in the legislature in Missouri is that this guy who's just totally against sports betting there is not going away.
This has been in progress since last fall. They got 300 and some thousand signatures. All they needed was 170, but those were all certified by local election boards. That had to be done by earlier this month. By tomorrow, the Secretary of State has to verify all those signatures.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
So, Morency was just schooling me in the CFL. I want to go through what you were explaining to me. How
the schedule.
NFL, the NFL's kind of copycatted the CFL in the steps from 16 to 17 and now they're eyeing 18 games. Explain what they do in Canada and how they do their season and how they do their playoffs and championship.
You know what? So the NFL really does watch a lot of these other leagues, as big as they are. I mean, where did they just pluck this new kickoff rule from? The XFL. Okay,
yeah.
So that was an XFL creation. It wasn't the NFL. The CFL has a lot of interesting rules, Scott. Like you can challenge pass interference. You can, if your quarterback gets lit up and hit in the head and it's not called, you can challenge stuff. The NFL actually has more logical rules than the NFL does. They'll review stuff. You can say, listen, it was blatant pass interference. You didn't call it. They'll be like, all right, we'll check it out. Right? You can't do that in the NFL. It's almost overly videoed in the CFL now where guys challenge freaking everything all the time. So it's a little bit overkill. But as far as the schedule is concerned, guys, we all know they're going to 18 games in the National Football League. So the way they have it in the CBA with the NFL is the players agree to play 20 games a year. Whether it's preseason or regular season, it doesn't matter. So they're just going to add another regular season game. They're going to cut the preseason to 2 games. CFL preseason, 2 games, same thing. So they're just copying the CFL. So it's going to, in the NFL, and this will be in 2 years. It's coming up. And the reason we brought this up is all these quarterbacks getting hurt. Wait till you play 20 weeks, guys, 18. It's ridiculously long. And you get 2 bye weeks in a 20-week season. So it's 5 months, and you get 2 bye weeks in a 5 months of action. And when the pandemic hit, Scott, during the COVID, one of the COVID years, the CFL didn't play once. They were like, we can't do this. We don't have enough money to operate. We got to shut it down for a year. And then the COVID thing went on. The following year, they said, listen, we have limited fans. We're not the NFL. We don't make as much money, so we got to shorten the season. 14 games. It was perfect. It was freaking beautiful, Scott, the way it should be. The only reason the CFL is playing, I'll tell you right now, guys, and I've spoken to owners about this, the only reason that they play 18 games in CFL is because they need the money, Scott, right? They sell tickets. The CFL is actually a gate-driven league. Like, the NFL can play in front of no fans and make $19 billion in a year, as we saw. The CFL needs fans in the stands. It's like 50% of their operation. Like, they need fans. That's why they have 18 games. So if you're the NFL, Scott, why? Why, like, and I get the NFL, like, never does wrong, but wouldn't you agree, Scott, at some point, like, are we pushing it a little much? Like, why? Yeah. Do we need 18 games? No. 16 was fine before. It was fine.
Do you remember when, like, Gene Upshaw was running that union? They would have never agreed to this. There would have been a strike over this. The injuries, the CD,
it's
the
unhealthy, Scott, for the body, bro. Like, we talk about, we care about safety. Dude, the CFL's a bloodbath. They go through like 200 players. It's like, oh, yeah, we're playing on Friday. Oh, we're playing again on Thursday, guys. Hey, we're playing again. It's constant. It's not baseball. And you look at the NFL, they're starting to do the same thing to these teams. Yeah, you'll play Friday in Brazil, and don't worry. Well, you'll play next Sunday, and you'll be fine. And then you'll play Thursday again. Don't worry about it. Dude, the Kansas City Chiefs play like, and you know what? Good for them. I'm glad it's not our Buffalo Bills. But the Kansas City Chiefs, Scott, they play like 3 games in 11 days or something in December. It's ridiculous. They play on the Sunday, they play on the Christmas Day game, and then they play on like the next Saturday or whatever. It's like 3 games in like 12 days or 11 days.
What's your story on Sidney Crosby?
Well, we're just getting fired up about the Olympics. I'm going through Olympic withdrawal, but we were talking, there's a lot of flag football news starting to pop up right now about the NFL. The rules are coming out about how all these NFL guys, Scott, it's going to be like lit. There's 11 players in the NFL that have Nigerian passports, Scott. Like that are dual citizens. So we were looking at the list. We're like, wow, like Nelson Aguilar is going to be on Team Nigeria in the Olympics. Like, I don't think people realize how cool this thing's going to be. But then I was like, we don't have to wait till 2028. You're a big hockey fan, Scott. 2026 NHL players back in the Olympics. And this is your boy and my guy, Sidney Crosby's last chance at winning a championship, because you and I both know the Pens ain't winning.
Yeah. He's already got 3 cups and a gold medal, and he'd go for another one with Canada. All right, Morency, we'll see you tonight at SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
One change in the legislature in Missouri is that this guy who's just totally against sports betting there is not going away.
This has been in progress since last fall. They got 300 and some thousand signatures. All they needed was 170, but those were all certified by local election boards. That had to be done by earlier this month. By tomorrow, the Secretary of State has to verify all those signatures.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
I just saw a story pop. I didn't get into it yet, but I think it was the 36 event regular season has 8 signature events, beginning with the century from January 2nd to the 5th. The PGA releases their 25 schedule to get you excited about all the money you'll be making on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I do have that for you later on. They released that this morning. I have a little something for you on that that we can discuss later in Coast to Coast. Of course, it is a Golf Wednesday. I'm very excited for the St. Jude, which, of course, will have the Prime Minister. We'll have Keith Stewart. We got it all happening today. Only 70 golfers this week, first round of the FedEx Cup playoffs. We do have baseball, though, Scotty, as we have the 2 hottest teams in the world, in the league, playing this afternoon. That would be the Diamondbacks and the Padres. The Diamondbacks, they've only won 17 of their last 20. They are absolutely rolling right now as they get ready to take on the Rockies this afternoon. Jordan Montgomery against Tanner, definitely don't call me Flash Gordon, going for the Rockies. Minus 210 for the Snakes, plus $170 for Colorado, and a flat 9 out in the desert.
Well, we know how Montgomery complains about the humidity inside of that ballpark, and he seems like he doesn't like it. He's certainly talked about it a lot after his performances, which have been brutal. His ERA is brutal. This guy Gordon's ERA is brutal on the other side. I still think Arizona covers it on the run line, and I can get it at minus $1.15, which I don't mind, and the over 9. I'm still on Arizona until further notice. They win every night.
As you should be with the 17 out of 20. I have a little bit of afternoon, put it with the golf, tater action in that game as well. With, Suarez didn't come through for us last night, so maybe he'll come through for us this afternoon. That happens to me a lot. So I'm going to take Suarez and Lourdes Gurriel here against Tanner. Don't call me Flash Gordon because I'm definitely not any good. The other game that's going to start in about a half an hour, the Diamondbacks have won 17 out of their last 20. The Padres have also won 17 of their last 20 games. They go for the sweep against the Buccos this afternoon. It'll be Mitch, don't call me Helen Keller, against Martin Perez. The Padres minus 135, Pirates plus 115, and an 8.5.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm on the Pirates today to end the losing skid with Keller on the bump. And not only that, they're facing Perez, who was on the Pirates this year, and he had about one good start the entire time he was a Buck. So I'm not afraid of Martin Perez. I'll take a shot with the skidding Buccos today. Clear the decks, cannonball coming. Let's get a Keller W out of Petco with some soft serve swirl ice cream with some sprinkles on top.
How about the Bartman against the lefty this afternoon? We get the Bartman involved with the lefty Perez on the mound. He beats up on lefties. Little big fly with the Bartman for the Buccos today.
Can we get a cruise missile today?
Not in the lineup. Not in the lineup today. I guess because of the lefty. I guess that's why he's not in there. But no, I kind of like, too, a little hunch play also. It's time for De La Cruz to hit one out for the Pirates. I'm kind of feeling De La Cruz to go yard this afternoon.
So you're telling me, yeah, he's a lefty. So, wow, Brian Reynolds then from the right side.
Yeah, Reynolds from the right side. And I just went and checked. Brian De La Cruz still hasn't homered since he went to the Pirates. He has not hit a home run since the Pirates acquired him. And they got him for a little power. Maybe we get some this afternoon. So let's go. I'll add in Brian De La Cruz here to try to get some things cooking for us. All right, so those 2 games, and they're in the 9th in Minnesota. Royals lead the Twins 4-1, top of the 9th inning. Our boy Vinny P is up right now. Wouldn't mind seeing him going. Oh, he pops out. There you go. You're ahead of me. All right, let's get to some things from last night before we get to tonight because we have another good slate. He hit it pretty good, by the way. That's shallow center field.
No, that was a can of corn.
Yankees did beat the White Sox 4-1. We love to take shots at Nestor Cortez. He pitched well last night. We'll give him a break. He pitched very well in Chicago.
That's the first time he's pitched well all year.
Probably is the first time, so he gets himself a win. But the entire Yankee offense was provided on 3 swings of the bat, and all 3 of those swings came from Juan Soto on the Yes Network.
Soto drives that in the air to left field. Benintendi back, looking up, and it is gone. Juan Soto goes oppo and adds another ballpark to his home run list. His 31st long ball this season, and it's 2-0 Yankees. Soto drives that the other way again. Guess what? Aha! It's gone. Juan Soto goes oppo again, and it's 3-0 Yankees. Soto drives it in the air, deep right field. He has done it again. Juan Soto, his first career 3-home run game.
I mean, honest to Christ, just sign him already. Just give him the money. Like, you know what he should do? Hal should just, like, let him have his wife, his house, his car, his limo driver, his suite at the ballpark, and, you know, free beer for life. I mean, honestly, they cannot let this guy leave the Bronx. I mean, he had a career-high 35 home runs last year for San Diego, and they thought he had a bad year. Listen, I'll take this guy's 33 already, and he's going to hit well over 40. That's a certainty. And, you know, people say he's not worth the money. Yeah, whatever. If he went to the Mets, honestly, I'd cut my pinkies off. I just can't have it. I cannot have that guy Cohen open up his checkbook and steal this guy from the Yankees. They'll never live it down. They will never. They will rue the day that they didn't just go, and I don't care, Boris, whoever, just give him the money and get it over with. Get it over with. Those two together in the lineup, Judge and Soto, are the only reason they have 71 wins.
They are the only reason that they have that, and I am with you. He's having a monster year. He's going to get 40-plus this year. Big night for Soto. First 3-homer game in his career. And because the Orioles could not get the job done against the Nationals last night, in fact, they got smacked 9-3. The Yankees hop back over the Orioles, a half-game lead in the AL East. We will do lots of that back and forth as we continue to go along. Cleveland beat the Cubs 2-1, a surprising pitching duel last night between the Cubs and the Guardians, with the Guardians getting it. In fact, that Janeski Noel had his 3rd homer in 2 games, Scotty. I don't know if you saw it or not. That was a bomb that dude Noel hit for Cleveland to give them the 2-1 lead late in that game. That guy is getting very hot. They brought that kid up. You put a power bat like that with Naylor and Ramirez, who already hit home runs all the time. That was a nice call-up by the Guardians. There's $1 in the jar for us. Marlins beat the Phillies 5-0. I'll wait till I come back for Rob Thompson, Scotty, because I don't want to run out of time with him. As the Phillies, you know, the only good thing for the Phillies is that the Braves and the Mets lose every night, too. Because if they didn't, the Phillies would be in a lot of trouble in the NL East now.
I mean, the Braves have been winning in San Francisco.
They did pick up a game last night, game and a half, really, the last 2 nights. But we'll come back and hear from Thompson, who really doesn't know what to say as the Phillies have hit this massive slide. We had a lot of runs scored by the Tigers last night at home. We'll do that and a few other games from last night, too.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
One change in the legislature in Missouri is that this guy who's just totally against sports betting there is not going away.
This has been in progress since last fall. They got 300 and some thousand signatures. All they needed was 170, but those were all certified by local election boards. That had to be done by earlier this month. By tomorrow, the Secretary of State has to verify all those signatures.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All right, BetMGM's first bet offer of $1,500 is incredible. It's easy to get. 4 steps. 1, download the BetMGM app on iOS or Android, or go to BetMGM.com. 2, sign up, deposit at least $10 in your new account, and you're off and running. 3, place your first wager and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. And 4, if the bet loses, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled, Carver High.
It certainly does. Everybody needs to get involved. All right, I was telling you about the Phillies right before the break. They have the second worst record in baseball since the All-Star break. They've lost 18 of 26 since the All-Star break. But their lead's down to 6 now because the Braves have won the last couple nights. They have a 6-game lead over Atlanta in the NL East. So Rob Thompson last night, what are we going to do here? Going to talk to the players, have a meeting, let it keep going on? Let's hear from the manager.
Yeah, I'll think about it, but I mean, I think about it all the time, you know. Is it time to do it? It depends on a lot of things. It depends on the attitude and where I think the guys' minds are at. And I think overall, they're very solid right now. They're frustrated.
Are you kidding?
Because they know that we're better than that, and our fans know that we're better than that. And we have very knowledgeable fans, and they let you know when you're not playing well. And hey, it is what it is. That's the game.
Listen, they're collapsing, is what they're doing. I mean, this is serious losing. I mean, they are on par with the White Sox. They're the second worst record in baseball since the All-Star break. All they do is lose. They are losing every night. We have seen this before in baseball. Like, you can't be serious that you're going to bet on them right now to win it all when they lose every night. I mean, honestly, like, they have fallen apart. This reminded me of, you remember when the Yankees had that great start last year, whatever, and then the way they ended, the way they finished.
2 years ago.
They didn't. 2 years ago, they didn't even make the playoffs, right? I don't feel like they're a team right now in, let's say, what is it, 7 weeks left, 6.5 weeks left of baseball before October, right? So I don't believe they're going to collapse that badly that they don't make it. I think that I question what they're going to do when they get there. If all you do is lose for 4 months, you're not winning the World Series. That's just it. I mean, listen, we all know the facts. You don't turn it around all of a sudden because the leaves start falling and you get hot. If you're bad, you're bad. If you lose, you lose. If you're hot, you win. Hot teams, like last year, the Diamondbacks and Texas Rangers both got hot and they went to the World Series. Teams that lose aren't the ones that go to the World Series. Teams that are going southbound are going to keep going southbound until they're in Key West and they're drinking tequila. It's over. I mean, they're in trouble. Yeah. They're in trouble.
Look, and this is kind of a different way this year's gone for them, right? I mean, the last 2 years, they went to the World Series. Last year, they went to the NLCS. They started really slow the first couple months and then turned it on and played great July, August, September. They're flipping it this year. They played great April, May, June, and now it's going the other direction. We'll see if Rob Thompson and the group can turn it around.
Let me ask you a question, Mike. Right now, if you were betting on Arizona, San Diego, or the Phillies, who would you bet on? I mean, I'm not betting on the Phillies.
Well, I mean, I think also, let's factor in this too. The Phillies are like 5 or 6 to 1 to win the World Series, and the Diamondbacks and the Padres are like 18 to 1 to win the World Series. I think all the more reason because I think we saw the Diamondbacks beat them last year, and I think you could make the case that this Diamondback team might be a little bit better than the one that went to the World Series last year. So I think that right now, because they're scorching hot, but there's some time to go here. The one thing that worries me about the Phillies is that they're just not scoring. That is the one thing. They hit so many home runs and they score so many runs. I mean, they're getting shut out at home by the Marlins. That's a tough thing to do in that ballpark. I think it was the first time all year they were shut out at home at the Bank. So that's a rough scene for them all the way around. Tigers beat the Mariners 15-1. Not a good scene for Kirby's Dreamland last night, Scotty. 3 2/3, 12 hits. He gave up 11 runs. They only charged him for 6 of them. But Scooble was great again for the Tigers. Jake Rogers, the big blow, a grand slam on Bally Sports Detroit.
Rogers, right field. Did he? Haniger! Yes, Rogers did! It is a grand salami for Jake Rogers.
Well, there you go. Very exciting. Jake Rogers getting involved. Listen, anytime we get the Grand Slam breakfast, I get excited.
Everybody loves the Grand Slam breakfast. Reds beat the Cardinals again, 4-1 last night. Astros beat the Rays 3-2. So the Astros keep winning as well, Scotty. And that's with, of course, Seattle losing last night. A's beat the Mets 9-4 at Citi Field. Red Sox beat the Rangers 9-4.
Speaking of sucking, the Mets.
Yes, the Mets not playing well, getting smashed by the A's at home. We'll sneak one more in here. Dodgers beat the Brewers 7-2 last night. How about your boy Ohtani? Big fly, Sportsnet LA.
Oh, my word. Goodbye in the good land. Second deck for Ohtani. Second home run of the game. And the Dodgers doubled the lead.
He got a second one that he likes. This one he didn't miss.
Number 37 for Ohtani. He's gone deep in back-to-back games to start the series against the Brew Crew.
Listen, what did he hit 2 last night? This guy's hitting home runs every day now, if you haven't noticed.
He's hitting home runs every day, and wait till I tell you the numbers he has tonight against Montas when we get to the Taters later in the Lions share. So
I can smell it already.
We have to play him tonight as well.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
One change in the legislature in Missouri is that this guy who's just totally against sports betting there is not going away.
This has been in progress since last fall. They got 300 and some thousand signatures. All they needed was 170, but those were all certified by local election boards. That had to be done by earlier this month. By tomorrow, the Secretary of State has to verify all those signatures.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
So I'm watching Arizona. The Snakes are up 3-0 already in the bottom of the first at home against the Rockies. And, I mean, I know it's in the afternoon out there. I get it. But, I mean, literally there's like 5 people at the game.
It's embarrassing, honestly. Like, this team's won 17 out of 20. They went to the World Series last year. They're playing great baseball. It's an afternoon. I get it. It's a Wednesday afternoon, but it's the summer. Like, why is there nobody at the game? Maybe Jordan Montgomery's right. Maybe it's maybe they don't like it's like a jungle in there. Maybe it's just they don't want to sit in there for 3 hours.
I mean, do you remember I know Mafia does. Like, look, we were there for the Super Bowl and it was 90, and my buddy lives there. And I'm telling you, in the summer, it's $1.15 there. It's $1.15. So, like, when you go out in your car, even, it literally is so hot that you think you're in a microwave oven. Like, it is brutal. You don't want to go anywhere. You don't even want to go and turn the car on and wait for the air conditioning to try to work. It's so hot. Like, Vegas and Phoenix are so hot in the daytime in the summer. Like, let's just face facts. Vegas is miserable. And Vegas and Phoenix are the same. And so I get it why in the daytime at 12 o'clock in Phoenix when it's 118 degrees, you don't want to go to the baseball game. You'd rather jump in a lake or in a pool or not leave the air conditioning wherever you are. Nobody wants to work. They don't want to do anything. People they can't even golf in this. They golf at 6 in the morning so that they can try to, and it's 90 degrees at 6 in the morning. That's why they don't go to the baseball games. It's that simple. It's the same in South Florida. Old people don't want to go to Marlins games no matter what, because not only is it hotter than Haiti, it is literally Thailand. It is so hot in South Florida. It's 100% humidity. It is literally like being in Vietnam with 40 pounds of military gear on your back in a swamp. That's what it's like. I used to live there. Trust me. I'll tell you, it's hotter than Haiti. Like nothing you've ever experienced.
So the Rockies haven't gotten an out yet. Jock Peterson had a 2-run double, and he actually came around to score, Scotty, on a throwing error by the first baseman, Toglia. So all three of the first batters scored. Now Bell's on first off of what I believe was an error or a missed ball, whatever it was. So Gurriel's up. He's the fifth batter, and the Rockies have yet to record an out in this game. So not a good start for them, that's for sure. And since you brought up crowds, I said this to you during the break too. You had a game last night with two first-place teams in Milwaukee. Dodgers in town, Ohtani. Brewers in first place, two first-place teams. Same thing as this right now. There was like 25 people in the stands in Milwaukee. I couldn't believe it.
How is that possible?
I couldn't believe it. The team's playing well. You've got perhaps the biggest, one of the two or three biggest stars in the game in there hitting bombs. And there's nobody at the game. I couldn't figure it out. There's nobody there.
And you know what? And let me say this. Like, I've been there, too, many times. And there is nothing. Let's just get real here. There's nothing to do there. Like, it's hell on earth. When people go there, they want to, like, no one will admit this there because they hate hearing this. But they're so jealous of Chicago because at least in Chicago, there's things to do. What is there to do? I mean, I'm not even trying to be mean right now. What is there to do in Milwaukee better than going to watch the first-place Brewers and Ohtani play each other at that baseball stadium? I mean, honestly, what do you do in Wisconsin in the summer? You go to a lake with your friends, fishing and swimming, and then you go to a Brewers game. There's nothing else. What do? You go to the fair? I mean, honestly, what do you go to Carver High, and I love cotton candy. And you have so many friends in Milwaukee, Carver. I mean, honestly, you have been.
Everybody loves me there. Yeah. Everybody loves me in Milwaukee. It's a great town. I love at least one person in Milwaukee. I love Bill Michaels. Other than him, it is what it is up there. That's for sure. All right, we'll come back. I just got two more for you from last night, and then all the games for tonight, including the Phillies, as we said, who are struggling. The Yankees are going to finish off that series in Chicago with the White Sox. We'll give you the full slate.
Yeah, why not? Listen, I'm going for it tonight. Like, I'm going big onions. I'm going to go with that Buck game that's starting, and I think I'm going to bet against the Phillies again, too, while I'm at it.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're legit 5 deep at receivers. 7 bona fide pass targets deal. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. You know, he was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like, it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, yeah, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.